Hello there guys, it's me Unstable Voltage and welcome back to Sid Meier's Civilization 5 Brave New World Edition. We are still playing as Greece and trying to get a diplomatic victory. We're actually doing quite well. I don't think we're going to really have a problem winning this particular game. But what we're concentrating on doing at the moment is using our archaeologists to dig up these antiquities sites, like we have one here and there's another one down here. Now remember, there's two things we can do with an antiquities site. We can either lift a artifact and put it on display in one of our buildings that allow us to display great works. So we must have a available slot for a artifact. If we have one of those available, we can lift the artifact. The artifact we can lift will depend on where it's dug up from, but that will essentially give us a little bit of tourism. Now, tourism makes us more culturally influential with other civilizations, which we're not too bothered about because we're not playing a cultural victory game. However, we now have an ideology. And when you have an ideology, because we picked freedom, the other players may pick different ideologies, and whichever civilization is the most influential will probably have the preferred ideology. Anybody else that has differing ideologies will want to change, and it will give them unhappiness. So, once you get to the point of picking ideologies, you do want to try and be culturally influential over some of the other civilizations. The other options we've got, of course, is we can turn these antiquity sites into a cultural site, which actually generates culture per turn. We did have some around somewhere, but I can't remember what cities they were in. And they will just give you culture per turn, which is quite nice. Now, the amount of culture per turn you get from them is very much dependent on the difference between the age of the antiquity site and the current era. So the older they are, the more culture per turn you get. I explained that on the last video. But one thing that I did forget to explain is you can actually go and dig up antiquity sites that aren't in your borders. So for example, I'm not sure if I could see one in somebody else's borders, but like here for example, this one is within the Songhai's borders. I could go and dig that up. Now, of course, I could lift an artifact, providing I have a free artifact slot. But what I could also do is convert it into a culture site. Now, if I convert it into a culture site, I'm going to get no benefit from it at all, because I'm not going to be able to lift an artifact, and I can't work it. To be fair, they can't work it either, because it's too far away from their city. However, if you were to turn a antiquity site into a cultural site within somebody else's borders, you get a permanent diplomatic boost with them. So it can be quite useful if you want to sort of get people friendly with you, to go and convert it for them. But it's a bit of a waste of an archaeologist, so you don't usually do that unless you have loads of spare archaeologists. So, without continuing to waffle too much more, let's continue on and see what we can do. Musketmen here in Sparta. I think you can stay there. We're mainly just expecting the possibility of a war from Carthage. You want to give me 9 gold per turn for open borders. To be fair, I don't actually need the money, and I'm not sure why you want my borders open. Probably because you want to send missionaries or something through, which I'd prefer if you didn't. We're about to complete our stock exchange in Sparta, which will help our gold per turn even more. Washington's moving quite a lot of units around. I haven't had a look at the demographics for a while, so I should do that as well. So we'll just wait for our turn to come back around. Still in a golden age, 7 turns left on that amazing amount of excess happiness. I could quite easily settle an extra city or two. One of my biggest fears at the beginning of this particular game was that I didn't have enough variety of luxury resources to keep the happiness up, but given the sheer amount of city-states that we have allied with us that are all sending us their stuff, barbarian missionary, quite interesting. Now this is one of the things that I did actually want to check in the demographics. People with the pointy sticks, Dido. So Carthage does actually have the highest military by quite a bit. Although I have almost 10,000 gold in the bank and I'm making over 400 gold per turn, so I could quite easily rush by an army if the need arose. And we've discovered refrigeration, which is also quite nice. What would we like to research next? Well, we've got to go for metallurgy because it's the only thing that we can currently research. Sparta has completed its stock exchange. Now, what would be the best thing to go for here? Probably the Opera House and start getting some great work slots. What are we outputting here? Science and gold is good. Do we have anything here that could benefit from that? Probably not. Could go for the workshop, give us a bit of extra production. Garden would give us great person generation. But I think what we may actually do here is put out a submarine or two. And then we can get them all around the edge and park them outside Carthage. Keep an eye on what they're doing with their navy more than anything. You guys might as well go and build a lumber mill over here. This cargo ship, right, you are in New York. Trade routes available. Now, do we have any missions for trade routes? I'm sure I saw one come up. Samarkand would like a trade route. And Leventa. And Kathmandu. Well, Kathmandu's inland. So we can't do that. And you can't reach any city-states either, which is quite annoying. Where's Samarkand? How can you not reach Samarkand when you are right next to it? Do you already have one going there? Am I missing something? Have I forgotten something? Are city-states embargoed? Ah, yeah. City-states are embargoed, and we are trying to repeal that, which should be doable. So that's a bit of a pain. So we can't actually trade with anybody else. So we might as well go to wherever the highest gold per turn is. I think we will go over to Madrid, actually. It's a little bit higher there. Hopefully most of the barbarians have been dealt with now. This caravan, where are you going to go to? You were going to Washington, 25 gold per turn. Still seems sensible, so let's continue with that. And on to our next turn. We've still got this great merchant very, very slowly working his way over to Ife. Musketman has arrived here. And I think that's probably a good enough spot for you. I think what we'll actually do is put you down here on this hill, just to keep your eye to the south. Let's end the turn there. You want to give me 6 gold per turn for salt. Will you give me 7? Okay, we'll take the 6. I'm only making 463 gold per turn, though. Which is actually quite nice.
Is the following trade of interest to you?
So, you want me to give you 1 gold per turn, 2 iron, and mutual open borders. I don't need your borders open anymore, so do you know what? No. Don't need to come into your borders. You want to give me 1 gold per turn to open my borders? Not really. See, sometimes if you're playing a cultural victory, you want the opposing players to open their borders because that allows your culture to spread to them more easily. At the same time, you want to keep your own borders closed. The main reason why I want to keep my borders closed is I don't want people marching through my territory with missionaries and using them to start converting the religion of my cities. Also, it makes it a lot easier for them to be able to get their own archaeologists in and start pillaging your stuff as well. Great musician has been born in the city of New York. So, open borders to Washington's finished. That's fine. Open border, yeah, that's not a problem at all. As Kuala Lumpur has requested, you have successfully created a great musician. Their scholars are in awe, and your influence with them is increased by 40. Brilliant. Great person. So, we have ourselves a musician. Let's go ahead and create a great work. And we'll have an opera house here soon as well. Let's just have a quick look and just see if we can get a theming bonus anywhere. We don't have an awful lot of places for great works of music. In fact, Knossos is the only one we have. So we do need to get some opera houses up and running as quickly as possible. And we have finished our temple at Argos. Now, what could we do here? We don't have a great amount of cash output, so a stock exchange might not be worth it, but there isn't anything else that we can really do to improve our science either. So while you're not doing a lot else, Actually, no, change my mind there. What you are going to do is you are going to produce an archaeologist. Unit needs orders. You guys have finished whatever you were building. Again, we're really running out of things we can upgrade now. Might be worth starting to disband some of these. Yeah, it might be worth starting to disband some of these workers. 1, 2, 3. See, that's cattle is too far away to do anything, so it's pointless upgrading that area here. 1, 2, 3. I guess you could come down there and build a farm or something on that, or a trading post, and possibly one here as well. Ah, and we have managed to deal with an archaeological dig site. Now, as you can see, we do have a problem here. We don't have any slot for great works of art. So, it's a barbarian camp remains. So, there must have been a barbarian camp here that was destroyed at some point. Now, we would have a pottery shard if we were able to. So, obviously, it says plundered by Persia. So, Persia must have been the ones who destroyed that barbarian camp. And we would be able to pick up a barbarian pottery shard if we had a great work slot to put it in, but we don't. So we're going to be able to create a landmark. Now, it does say it is ancient era, which is quite nice because that will give us a fair bit of culture per turn. If we actually go into the city, we can see that it is giving us... How much is it giving us? 5 culture per turn, which is nice. There we go. Want to make sure that that is locked in as well. Get ourselves a lot of culture. And let's go on to the next turn. So, of course, having a lot of culture is good because it helps you to unlock social policies faster. It also makes it more difficult for other civilizations to become culturally influential over you if they have very high tourism. Still got a couple more around here that we could dig. We've got one over here. There's going to be a lot of culture being output from Maxine soon.
Is the following trade of interest?
You still want to give me 6 gold per turn for salt. I have no problem with that. So we're currently over 10,000 gold in the bank, which is really good. One thing that I will do on the next turn, just as soon as all the city-states have finished doing their thing, we'll have a quick look and just see how we're getting on with the city-states. I think we are still allied with all of them. There are 1 or 2 that have been taken over, as in actually captured by other civilizations. There was one over here somewhere that's actually been taken over by the French. I could go over there and try and liberate it, but it would mean a war, and it all becomes a little pointless. Well, we are definitely still allied with Colombo. We've got a great artist born in New York. Let's just have a quick look. Yep, we are allied with absolutely everybody, which is fantastic. Production in New York. You have finished the Opera House. Do we have any antiquity sites around here? Doesn't look like we do, and we are running short of slots, so you are going to get an opera house built, and then we can go, well, you've done the opera house, so now we go into the museum, and the museum gives us 2 great works of art or artifact slots, so we're going to need those quite quickly. Great artist. Do we have a slot? No, we do not, which is a problem. So we'll save him for a little bit. We can pop him later once we've managed to build something else. Musketmen, you are just going to stay there on top of that hill. And you have arrived in Ife's borders. Conduct a trade mission for 30 influence. How much influence do we have over them anyway? 261 out of 60. Yeah, I think we're doing quite well, but we will pop. That'll give us another 1,600 gold. So now at 12,500 gold in the bank. You can't do anything for now, so do nothing. And on to the next turn. And a unit needs orders. Right, yep, you can build a trading post there. Quite happy with that. You are going to build a quarry. Give us a little bit more production. Oh, we have another antiquity site up here. Now, obviously, that's going to be too far away to work, but we could try and lift an artifact from it. But, of course, there's no point doing that until we have a museum or 2. Right, well, Carthage is still threatening city-states, so there's not an awful lot we can do about it. We don't want to lose any favour with the city-state, so we are going to keep telling Dido that she'll pay for it. It will make her more likely to go to war with us, but bring it on if she wants to try that. So we're up to 12 tourism per turn, which isn't an awful lot, to be honest. But hopefully things will start to increase. 1 turn away from metallurgy. I think the red fort has already been built, not that it is something that I would bother with in any case. Still quite a few of these Carthaginian quinqueremes around here, but there's not an awful lot that I can do about those either. Colombo seem to be losing an awful lot of boats to these barbarians. Now, I'm not sure where these barbarians are coming from, but actually looking on the map, their camp is showing as being here, right next to Seville. Surely the Spanish have cleared this camp out. This is actually quite ridiculous. Let's have a look. Choose research. We can go for rifling or military science. So, we're going to have to do them both anyway, so let's go for rifling. Units need orders. Again, you guys have finished your work. So, let's go up here and build a trading post. It's what the AI recommends. I don't disagree. Still can't do anything with you. So, I think what I may do is go around into another city or two and purchase Opera House, purchase Museum, just because we've got the money. So, why not? Purchase... Oh, you don't have a public school. Purchase public school. Purchase amphitheatre. Then we can purchase the opera house. Then we can purchase the museum. And we're going to go into Athens. And you're working on the Eiffel Tower. But we are going to purchase the amphitheatre. I can't believe I don't have it here already. The Opera House and the Museum. We're also going to get a hotel here, which will increase the rate at which we grow, because it gives us additional food. No, sorry, the hotel increases our tourism output. The hospital gives us additional food. We're also going to get a hydro plant, because that gives us +1 production in every tile next to a river, and we have a lot of tiles here next to a river, so we're going to go for the hydro plant. A lot of extra production now, and we're also going to get a broadcast tower, which gives us an extra 33% culture and a great slot for music. So we've spent half our money. We are still at 6,000 gold. And our tourism has gone up from 12 to 18, and it's given us a bit of a culture boost as well. It will also make Athens grow more quickly. Can now go back to this great artist and actually create a great work, which he has done, and we'll just have a look. Try and get as much stuff in Athens as possible, because Athens is going to get the most bonus from it. Currently have 20 tourism. If we were to move this here, we get 21 tourism because we get a slight bonus from having stuff in Athens. What would we need in the museum to get a theming bonus? So to maximise your bonus, make sure that both great works are of the same type, so they either both need to be art or both need to be an artifact, from the same era, and either both from the city's civilization or both from civilizations other than the city's owner. Well, we have a industrial era Greek painting, and we have a modern era Greek painting, so that isn't going to help there, but we certainly keep our eyes on that. Of course, we could just move that in to Athens anyway, because we'd still get the slight bonus, so that's put us up to 22 tourism. That's not bad. Been sitting on all that money for ages. Should have really built some of these buildings earlier, but I think we are in a good position. That's actually the Spanish now trying to deal with these barbarians. A bit of a strange way of doing it, considering they have a city right there. Assuming, of course, the city is still there. We can't actually see it at the moment. It's like Colombo's had a tile or two pillaged. Still haven't found any coal. No coal within reach of us. Not that I'm really using it, but that is a bit strange. It does tend to happen a lot on these types of maps, that a lot of the strategic resources end up buried under the city-states. So you really have to be sort of friendly or allied with them. I mean, yes, I have a lot of iron and I have a lot of horses, but I'm pretty certain most of that is actually coming from allied city-states. So, choose production. Massenet has now finished its public school. It's not outputting a great deal of anything at all, really. Hydro plant would give it more production next to rivers. That's not a bad idea. We don't have an awful lot of aluminium, though, which is our main problem at the moment. So let us go for a windmill just to get the extra production going here. The unit needs orders. You guys are going to build a trading post. Oh, not an awful lot we can do on that turn, so let's pop the button. Still need to get a few archaeologists out. These guys are actually taking quite some time. Spanish are still firing at those barbarian crossbows. Still top of the scoreboard, quite nicely. Okay, so who is Spain firing at here? Is Spain firing at Leventa? Or Leventa firing at Spain? That's very interesting. Must pledge to protect Leventa. Not too bothered about going to war with Spain, because they're a little bit too far away for me to care. But I don't want them taking out city-states if at all possible. So we're going to pledge to protect. Choose research. Let us go on to... See, ironclads are pointless to us because we don't have any coal. We do get faster embark movement, but we're not really embarking units. So let's go to military science and then into steam power that way. You guys have finished the building there. I suppose you could come... Yeah, trading posts in these jungles doesn't seem like a bad idea. Another turn where we can't do anything. And there we go. We have archaeology. So, we can either lift some beads... So we can create a Greek artifact. Artifact will be placed in the nearest work of art slot and provides +2 culture and +2 tourism. Or we can create a cultural landmark. Now, again, it's within workable reach of the city, so we're going to create the landmark improvement. If we're going to lift up artifacts, we'll get them either from cities, from places that are too far to reach. That one will be in reach of Argos. Or we'll get them from... you know, outside of our own borders. Let's just go in here and make sure that that is locked in, because that is also going to be giving us 5 culture per turn as well. And go on to the next turn. Definitely need to get a few archaeologists up and running. I don't think you can actually buy archaeologists. I do need to double check on that, but I think archaeologists can only be trained. You can certainly only get them in cities where you have a university, but I do need to double check. So, Askia has declared war on Spain. Now, who are you oh no, Spain is firing at whoever that is up there. It's probably a barbarian. I thought for a while it was being fired on by Leventa. Obviously, the Caravel's not attacking Leventa because it's a melee ship. But I thought that the shots fired came from Leventa, but no, they actually came from whatever this is up here. So, barbarian encampment has been discovered. I'm going to see where that is. Still quite a bit of the map we haven't uncovered yet. So, Golden Age ends, which is a little bit of a shame. Barbarian camp is all the way over here and not really my problem. Tyr, have we not found Tyr before? Apparently we have now. Anyway, but they like us, but not bothered about that. Oh, they've become uneasy at the presence of a nearby barbarian encampment. There isn't really an awful lot I can do about it, apart from building a frigate and going around there trying to bombard it. Samarkand is amazed by our swift technological advancements. That's because we were backfilling old technologies, which gave us a lot of stuff. We've finished an archaeologist here. Can we purchase archaeologists? No, we cannot. I didn't think we could, but I did want to check. But we can build them, so that's not a problem. Argos, we are going to go for... What are we going to go for here in Argos? I think what we're going to do is we're going to put out another... We're going to put out another archaeologist. And because we've still got loads of money, we are going to purchase stock exchange, because it'll pay for itself. Amphitheatre. Opera house. Museum. Broadcast tower, don't really need it, and the hotel. So again, it's a fair bit of money spent, but we've got plenty of money, and it does give us some options. So, archaeologists, you're going to go over here and work on that dig site, so get cracking with that. Next turn. Haven't seen anybody else pick up any ideologies yet. We are quite ahead as far as research goes, so it might be a little bit of time before somebody else manages to pick up their ideologies. Interesting little skirmish there. At least Leventa have a privateer out there now to deal with that. One turn away from the next vote in Congress, which means we should hopefully be able to get the embargo on city-states lifted so we can trade with them. And that'll help us to fulfill some of their missions and get ourselves a little bit more favour with them. So, Persia want to ban pearls. Based on our knowledge of other civilizations' desires, our count for this proposal stands at 2 delegates from 1 civ saying nay. Well, okay, we have 20 votes here. We definitely want embargo city-states to be lifted. Now let's tally up everybody else. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 16. So if we put 17, we're going to win the vote. Even if every single person here votes nay on this, I will still have 1 vote more. And then I can put 3 votes into not banning pearls. So we'll see how that works out for us. The unit needs orders. Oh, you guys have finished that. I did see, yep, I thought there was a couple more slots that hadn't been dealt with. But we'll go over there and do that for you. Almost finished that submarine, which is quite nice. You want to give me 5 gold per turn for marble and open borders. How about you give me 7 gold per turn? Thank you very much. I do love my monies. Don't have quite as much money per turn coming in as before. Not too sure why. It could be that we have lost an incoming trade route from one of the other civilizations. Our happiness has started to drop a little bit. It's still massive, so I'm not worried about that. But it's probably because we've built a couple of hospitals and it's increasing the rate at which some of our cities grow. So, of course, population equals unhappiness. And New York has almost finished its museum as well. Tier no longer needs our help, which means somebody has probably already removed that barbarian camp. Most likely the French, because they're right next door to it. Okay, brilliant. So, let's have a look at that. Ban luxury pearls was not passed. So, France voted nay, we voted nay, and there was... It's a good job that France did vote nay, actually. I'm not sure what happens in the case of a draw. I think in case of a draw, we would have probably won because we're the host, so we would have had the deciding say, because it would have been 3 against 3. But France also voted nay, so it didn't pass. Repeal the embargo on the city-states. And look at that. 17 yay from Greece and 2 nay. So there was 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 nays from a lot of the other civs. But still, tough luck. I win. And it's our turn to make a proposal. So what should we do here? Well, what are we going for? That is the main thing. Don't really want to embargo anything. Cultural heritage sites could be good. We would each world wonder provides +3 culture. Only the Songhai would be grateful. Natural wonders we don't have many of. We could try and go for world religion again, actually. I think we'll try and do that because I've got enough votes to force that through and nobody can actually stop it. So let's go for that, just to be really annoying towards the AI. New York has finished that museum. Is it worth building any of these things here? No, it's probably not really. Let's get ourselves a temple. You can just get a little bit more faith because we're using the faiths to buy great merchants. They are really expensive now, but the fact that we can buy them is brilliant. So we'll keep that going for as long as possible. You guys were going to build a trading post. That's what I sent you down there for. You guys have now connected up the marble, which leaves you at a bit of a loose end. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you could build a trading post there. Again, not necessarily sure if it's needed. I see so many people playing games of Civ 5 where they've got like 10 workers and only about 15% of their tiles are actually improved. And I never seem to have that problem. Most games, I mean, I've got, what have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cities. I have 7 cities and I think I've got 4 workers. And I still manage to have all of my tiles upgraded, and I'm literally looking around to try and find work for them to do. I could put them on automated, but it's pretty pointless to probably just go around trying to build roads everywhere. We actually just have a look at our unit list. Workers. Yep, I have exactly 4 workers. And we've completed the research on military science. So we are going to go for dynamite, because that will give us artillery. We have ourselves a submarine, which we can instantly give the... let's give it the wolf pack bonus. And we're going to send you all the way around here. You're going to do a little bit of exploration for us. Sparta's finished its submarine. Do we want to build ourselves another submarine? We could go for the hydro plant, but again, like I said before, we are a little bit short on aluminium. I don't suppose it would be a terrible idea to have ourselves another submarine, so let's get one. I still see we have a great profit here from Persia, which is a little bit annoying. Okay, what have we got then? Still very short of tiles that you can upgrade. I suppose you could come down here and we could have another trading post or something. You guys are going to build a trading post. Trading posts everywhere, which is a good thing. And we have completed the archaeological dig site here, which is going to be close to Argos. Now, this is a medieval era site. So we could pick up ourselves a Greek artifact, or we could get a Levantan artifact, or we could turn it into a landmark. Now, it's medieval era. If we just have a look at the science tree, because I can never remember. Classical, medieval, and we're currently in the industrial era. So it'll only give us a couple of culture per turn. So I think I'm actually going to raise it as a Greek artifact. And then we'll have a quick look at the culture overview. Now, where did it put that? Yeah, the chalice. It's gone into Argos. I could put it in here. We wouldn't get the theming bonus because this is a great work of art. So they have to both be the same type. So either both great works or great artifacts. We'll leave it there for now. But we will consider moving it if we get something better that we could use. Industrial era, modern era. I'm sure we had more than that, but apparently not. Okay. Oh, I just saw something else there I thought I could do. Doesn't really matter because you're in the capital. Anyway, no, it's fine. We're all good. Let us go on to the next turn. Probably squeeze another turn or two out before we end the video. Dido is upset. I don't care. And now this tile's been cleared. I don't care. So now this tile's been cleared, we could build something else here if we wanted to. So, Brandenburg Gate has been completed by Morocco. Not something that I was interested in building, so that's not an issue for us. Never going to get that salt, are we? 1, 2, 3, 4. No, it's just out of range. Not that we really need the salt. We're doing quite well on the trades. It would be nice if Kuala Lumpur's borders actually expanded to this tile here. Then we'd have a little bit more oil to play with. I know I'm not really using it at the moment, but it could certainly be useful. We do have a antiquity site here that we could go and pillage, which we probably will. But we have now completed the Eiffel Tower. So we get some happiness and culture, but we get plus 12 tourism, which puts us up to 37. We've also got a great scientist in the city of Athens, which is really nice. Athens is going to... What is Athens going to do? Let's go for Broadway. We can probably do... I know we haven't got like a lot of the stuff that we can build, but let's try and go for some of these world wonders where we can. Now, again, I said it's quite close to the end of the game, so it's probably not worth building academies, so we're just going to pop that. Now, it does... Popping the Great Scientist will give us 4,000 research, which we aren't going to need to complete Dynamite, but it will then allow us to queue up our next thing, which will be Steam Power, and it's, as you can see, it's already done most of it anyway, because the overflow goes directly into it. Unit needs orders. Trading post. Next turn. I was just about to say we don't seem to have had anything stolen from us for a while, so maybe our defensive spy is working, and then one of our spies gets a promotion. Not sure which spy that was though. You want mutual open borders? I actually don't mind that. You have truffles and I don't have truffles. I'm not going to buy them off you though, because to be quite honest, I don't really need the happiness. Ah, Barcelona has been captured by Morocco. Fantastic. Colombo election has been rigged. So Morocco are getting a little bit more powerful now. Isabella's just lost her capital. She's now down to the bottom of the pile on the score. And Morocco is at the top. Well, below us anyway. Sofia election shenanigans. So somebody's trying to rig the Sofia elections. Okay, so let's have a look at things that are going on here. So promotion. Colombo's fine. After recent elections, your influence surprisingly fell in Sofia. But still 104 of 60. But what we can do is just go, give gift. Here, have some money. Yay. Your spy special agent Andres killed a Carthaginian spy in Athens while they are trying to steal technology. Haha. Carthaginian army is currently making a surprise attack against another civilization. Dido is plotting against Washington. Let's tell Washington. And I think we're already denouncing Dido, to be honest. They mistreated your protected city-states and you didn't look the other way. Covered lands you currently own. Yes, I'm not to spy on you. Spreading their religion. Declaration of friendship with their enemies. We have denounced them. Yep, no, that's fine. No, okay, fine. So that's all good. We can now get ourselves another cultural policy, but let's go and have a look at our level 2 tenants. 6 units are maintenance free. You receive 6 foreign legion infantry units, don't really need that. +1 happiness from every watermill, hospital and medical lab, don't need that. Combat strength of cities, don't really need that. Specialists in cities produce half the normal amount of unhappiness, and golden ages are 50% longer. That could be quite useful. Landmarks and great person improvements produce 4 of the appropriate yield. We're going to take that. And the reason we're going to do that is because we do actually have ourselves quite a few customs houses. And these customs houses are now giving us 9 gold per turn, which is very, very nice. New York has finished its temple. So you can go right ahead and I think you can build a submarine, actually. We'll have ourselves a little bit of a secret navy. And we'll have one final turn. And that will be the end of things. Okay, so we have 2 choices. We can forgive them, or we can not forgive this offence. We'll forgive them this time. Hopefully that'll improve relations a little bit. I don't want them to go to war with me. I'm quite certain that if Carthage did go to war with me, I could absolutely steamroll them into the ground. So I'm not actually concerned about winning the war. I just think that it is a little bit of a pointless distraction, and I'd prefer not to go to war with them if at all possible. It would be nice if we could actually get this aluminium out here. 1, 2, 3. It is outside of range of Knossos, which means we couldn't work the tile, but if our borders actually grow out in this direction, we would be able to get that. In fact, yeah, our border pop isn't going in that direction, which is a little bit of a shame, because that tile is infinitely more useful than those two. We'll see what happens with things. Dido is now plotting against Darius. Let's share the intrigue. Get as many people against Dido as possible. Arts Flourishing in Bucharest. Sofia has given us a new unit. I thought I saw that come in. Mackinac is ready for a new construction project, because they've just finished the windmill. Still can't believe they don't actually have a shrine going. Let's get that queued up. Knossos has finished its museum. Very nice, very nice. Have more science here than anything else, but don't have an awful lot that I can do to capitalise on that at the moment. So let's keep going for the religious buildings. We'll get the temple here. We could also just go in and purchase the stock exchanges, because things like that are just going to help. It'll give us extra money. We've got that cavalry. We'll actually move that up to the front lines, I think. Just give us a bit more potential protection from Dido, should she decide to make an attack on us. Cargo ship. So, does any of the city-states still desire a trade route? Samarkand does. So, let's trade with those. Establish trade route. In fact, which gives us the highest? Highest gold. And I think Leventa was one of them. Let me just check this again. Samarkand, Leventa, and Kathmandu. Well, we can't reach Kathmandu anyway. And Leventa gives us slightly more gold than Samarkand, so we'll go to Leventa. Seems to make the most sense, right? And that button didn't say next turn until I clicked it, and then it went to next turn. So it looks like we're having one final turn. And I know I do this on every single video, but it's just the way it goes sometimes. Spain has denounced France. No surprise there. You still want the defensive pact. I am happy to keep that going because I think that is probably protecting us a little bit from Dido attacking. So obviously the defensive pact doesn't get broken if they go to war with somebody. Will you give me 7 gold per turn? No, you will not, you tight git. Okay, back down to 6 then. Fine. Still making 430 gold per turn, so can't really grumble at that for an income. Still doing very, very well. Trade route established for Leventa, which will give us a bit more influence with them. Not that we really need it. 37 culture. I must check and see if anybody else has actually picked up an ideology yet. I don't think anybody has. We've discovered steam power. So we get to choose ourselves a new technology. And I think what we're going to do now is go into railroad, because being able to actually put railroads down will give us a lot more gold from all of our cities connected to our capital. So we could actually go for the Statue of Liberty, because that requires freedom. That's probably worth doing. We're going to go for replaceable parts first, so that we can get the Statue of Liberty. And then we're going to go into railroad, because nobody else has adopted a ideology yet. At least I don't think so. No, we're the only people that actually have an ideology at this point, and we have by far the highest tourism output right now. Mackinac has finished its shrine, so go into... What am I missing? Temple. There we go. Argos has finished its archaeologist. Very nice, very nice. I think we're going to have another archaeologist from you, though. And this archaeologist is going to go... Let's go and pillage that one there. Could be quite useful. And that is all we can do. That is the end of that turn. So still going quite well. 13 turns away from completing Broadway. I wonder if we are close to getting a great engineer at some point. No, still miles away from getting a great engineer. Although we could put somebody in the workshop. And that would help slightly. Could also put some people in the... Because we've got a lot of growth here in Athens. So we could put a few people in the stock exchange. That'll help the money coming in. I don't think we need the extra money, though. It's growing quite nicely. What focus is it on? It's on production focus, so that's as quickly as we're going to be able to get Broadway. But I'm quite happy with how things are going. Just got to be careful of these Persian Great Prophets, although we are about to get the Voltology voted in as the world religion. There's no way that anybody else can outvote us on that one. Persia still wants to ban truffles, which is fine, because I don't actually think I have truffles. But designating a religion as the official world religion is really useful, because as it says, civilizations who have a majority of the cities in their empire following the religion get an additional 2 delegates. The religion spreads 25% faster, and its holy city receives plus 50% tourism. There can only be one world religion at a time. Well, let's look at the facts there. My holy city is also my capital city. Well, first of all, let's take it from the start. Civilizations who have a majority of the cities in their empire following the religion. Well, the majority of the cities in my empire, in fact at the moment all of them, follow the religion, so I would get the benefits. The religion spreads 25% faster, which not that bothered, but the Holy City, which is my capital city also, receives plus 50% tourism. So the only other person that this is probably going to benefit really at the moment is America, because 1, 2... I don't know, well, they've got 4 cities, and 2 follow my religion and 2 follow somebody else's, so... Does that count as a majority, or does it have to be 1 more? Who knows? But, yes, things are going very, very well. So, I hope you guys are still enjoying the series. It's actually been quite a fun game. A little bit easier than I was expecting it to be, actually. Probably shouldn't have chosen Greece. They do make a complete mincemeat mockery of the diplomatic victory. But, thanks you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Until then, goodbye for now.